I think this question and answer session pretty much indicated how difficult it is for anyone, especially the minority, to participate in a process to come up with a good budget. For Senator Krueger to tell us that in the near future we'll learn what federal stimulus money was used and where it went, because it's a very complicated thing, because we didn't cooperate, doesn't make any sense. We weren't asked to cooperate. So what cooperation was needed from us for them to determine what federal stimulus money went in and where it was used? I mean, how do you determine that you need to tax people or take away star rebate checks or whatever without knowing what you're using federal stimulus money for? There is much of the money, and I can't say chapter and verse, that is unrestricted, that could have been used in lieu of raising taxes, and that could have been done. So, secondly, I don't know how much clearer the Budget Office had to write this section of the bill. To suggest that they could have written it clearer by taking out the words American Recovery and Reinvestment Act, which Senator Krueger told us this $1 billion had nothing to do with. Does that make any sense whatsoever to anybody? The fact of the matter is there is $1 billion that is unallocated, that is not subject to the legislature. It's subject to the approval of the Director of Budget and not the legislature. With respect to the economists that estimate 15,000 jobs are being lost, I don't know what organization Senator Krueger referred to that we were relying on. We're relying on the Empire Center, which we did not hire. E.J. McMahon, who's done many of these analysis, that center has done it. They talk about 15,500 jobs as a result of increased taxes. Stimulus money is supposed to be used to stimulate the economy by taking $2,400 to $3,500 out of the pockets of New Yorkers. It doesn't stimulate a thing. But if you had avoided those taxes by using the stimulus money, you would have been able to legitimately keep more money in people's pockets. And by the way, Senator Krueger quoted from Mayor Bloomberg, I don't know when it was, several months ago, a year ago, whatever. Fact of the matter is Mayor Bloomberg came out against this personal income tax increase, as far as I understand it. So you could quote what anybody says that's not current and come out with any answer you would like. Lastly, we went and checked, our staff member checked the governor's website to determine if what Senator Krueger said about the federal stimulus money, all the details being on his website explaining all this. Well, there is still no financial plan on the Department of Budget's website indicating money's coming in, money's going out, and explaining where we are with the budget at this very moment. How do you possibly make wise decisions and determine priorities by this process? You simply don't. It's like, saying it's not transparent doesn't do this process justice. We can't figure out, and I don't think anybody on that side of the aisle has a clue either, what happened in these closed-door discussions. So I guess what I'm saying is that we should not tax people if we have alternatives. We should keep the money in their pockets, and we certainly have alternatives. Or at least you can't say we don't have alternatives, because you can't even tell us how much stimulus money is left over, what we've used, and what's available to avoid taxes. And we're past the budget deadline. So I'm going to vote against this bill when the time comes. Thank you, Mr. President.